guys a little update on regards to people that will be reading their offering. In regards to the list that I have here, so if you are here, I just humbly appeal and humbly beg you that you just get yourself mentally prepared and mentally ready. So His Grace Rasika Sindhu Prabhu is going to be reading his offering, followed by His Grace Rasamrita Mataji, and His Grace Avesha Rupa Prabhu and Nitya Kishori Mataji, then His Grace Vamandev Prabhu. I am not seeing him here yet, but I believe he's going to join in a few minutes from now. And then His Grace Manasi Ganga Mataji, then His Grace Prema Vilas Prabhu, then Her Grace Sakivrinda Mataji, His Grace Vaikunta Muti Prabhu, Her Grace Namisharaya Mataji, Her Grace Navavrinda Mataji, His Grace Jayananda Prabhu, His Grace Vanabihari Prabhu, and His Grace Advaita Krishna Prabhu. So these people you are going to be reading. But if you at the last minute you wish to to read an offering, you can just send a quick pop-up message, and I'll be able to attend to that. So in the meantime, we are waiting for Srila Gurudev, and hopefully he's going to join us soon. Well, in the meantime, since Srila Gurudev is not yet here, we'll just indulge you in a little kirtan. Oh, Gurudev is here now. Okay, sorry. Okay, Srila Gurudev is here. So, Guru Maharaj. Srila Gurudev. Srila Gurudev. Okay. Hare Krishna Gurudev.
All right. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Simati Bhakti Tirtha Swami Nitinamne. Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Shitanmane. Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Tinamne. Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Shitanmane. Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Tinamne. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Simati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamne. Namaste Saraswati. Devi Gaura Bali Pachari, Devi Sesa Sanya Vadi Pasacha, Desachari. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaja Ki Jai. Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, we thank all of you for gathering here today for the purpose of celebrating the holy appearance of His Holiness, Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. We have been speaking about Gurudev for 4 days. This is the fourth day I'm speaking. For the first time, Vyasa Puja Gurudev have been globally organized and celebrated. This is the first time of experiencing this. And it's very interesting because the devotee who did this is a Siksha disciple, not a Diksha disciple. His Grace and Dhira Maharaj. Gurudev has a disciple called Dhira Maharaj from South Africa. Now he's in Gitanagri. He's the president in the Gitanagri. And also we have a Dhira Maharaj Prabhu. He's in London. He's a Siksha disciple. So he organized this program, which everyone who participated could see the potency that was displayed during this time. We're eternally grateful to Dhira Maharaj Prabhu and the team who facilitated this program. So today, we just finished also speaking in Lagos. And now we are with Mauritian devotees and some devotees from other places. I'm seeing devotees from India and devotees from Brazil, and other places. Okay, so we're very, very happy to see all of you. And we are sincerely from our heart praying that the blessing and mercy of His Holiness Gurudev, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, Gurudev be with all of you. That this celebration should help to strengthen us in our Krishna consciousness and help us to increase our faith, increase our enthusiasm, increase our love, increase our determination, everything in our Krishna consciousness. We beg Gurudev to help this way, as he has always been helping. So we want to continue. This morning here in Lagos, we were glorifying Gurudev about how he magnetized many people. And I mentioned devotees from different places who came to Gurudev through his book. I have mentioned from India, from Russia, from Brazil, from other places. There's also a devotee in Mauritius who came to Krishna consciousness. First of all, she got the book of Gurudev. That is Her Grace, Saki Brenda Mataji. And all of us could see the attachment she has for Gurudev. She is the whole year thinking how she will bring seriously how she'll be allowed to host Gurudev's celebration in her house. The whole year she's thinking and planning for that. So you can imagine how Gurudev is affecting many devotees, directly and indirectly. So we are grateful to Gurudev for his magnanimous nature and his attractive quality that is attracting people and making our life meaningful in Krishna consciousness. And all the devotees who are following Srila Gurudev in many ways, in different ways. Yesterday, His Holiness Radhana Maharaja was speaking about Gurudev. And then he turned back and showed us, you see, from here, not here, I'm just demonstrating. He said, from here to here is all the books of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. Which is interesting. So I would like to continue from where I stopped yesterday. I couldn't complete my leadership presentation yesterday. And we have been speaking about Gurudev's book, leadership book. Devotee requested we should discuss it. And for a month, we have been discussing this. And yesterday was an overview of everything. We have started from chapter 1, right from the beginning to chapter 7. And we were looking at how Gurudev is teaching us how to manage time. Yesterday, we couldn't share that. And the last slide was about near-death experience. So we'd like to continue sharing from there, the remaining two topics yesterday. Managing time in relationship to reality. Time is life, Gurudev said. Time is life. Time is life, you can understand it in different ways. Time is life means if you have no time, you have no life. Okay, the connection is weak. If you have no time, you have no life. If you have no life, you have no time. So people who have no time, they have no life. Because you cannot plan what you're going to do. So you are as good as Gurudev said, a living dead. It's a living dead. Time is important because time in life means that time keeps us on our toes. And I have to be doing this, I have to be doing this, I have to be doing this. So that is life. Without this, we are living dead. How we relate with everything depends on how we value time, how we understand the meaning of time. And when we look at the time, what are looking at? We look at the time, you are looking at many things. Death, when you look at time, you are looking at death. As Krishna said in our Gita, I am what? Time that devastates and destroys everything. Everything. That is time. So those who are conscious of time, they will never waste Krishna's energy. They will never waste their time. Time is life means that if we are conscious of time, we are able to do wonderful things because we will appreciate Krishna and will appreciate everything from nature. We will relate with everything in a positive and dynamic way. So Gurudev continue. One way to improve your effectiveness as a leader is to become as fully absorbed in the transitional period between activities as during the activities themselves. This is wonderful. Thank you. This is wonderful because, like I have been saying, there have never been any time I will meet Gurudev not doing anything. I've never seen. Never. When we are traveling with Gurudev, the spiritual warrior, one beggar one, were written on the way, traveling from one city to another city. Gurudev is writing. He's writing in a car. He will go to a very quiet place. And he is very, very accountable. He's a perfect leader I've seen. Gurudev is leaving the temple to go and sit somewhere to write a book. He will come down to the shop and tell, he's following the Bhakti Tirtha Swami, the temple president at that time, I am going to that place. And then he will come to my office. He will tell me, I am going to that place. If you go there, you see him there. You will never see him somewhere. If you go there, you see him there. Somebody has come and is asking for him, and it is an important, we want him to be informed so he can arrange himself and come back. If you go to that place, you see Gurudev there. He's exactly there. Not that he tells us he's going here and we'll go and meet him with somewhere else. And he said, oh, I'm sorry, when I was coming, such happened. No. He is always prepared for everything. If you go there, you see him there. And if there's any situation that will warrant him not to be there, he will make himself known. He will make it known. So he wrote all these books on the way. I remember particularly, we were traveling from Lagos to Benin. And we had a problem with the first problem we had with the car. It was the gasket. The gasket got burnt. As soon as we parked at unfortunately it don't happen very close to the roadside mechanics at the Djibouti. As we just parked up to the mechanic workshop. In the morning, they were not there yet. It was empty. And Gurudev understood they're going to spend some time here to fix the car. Immediately, he came up with his portfolio. His portfolio, he introduced himself to Muhammad Ali. Gurudev introduced himself. When Muhammad Ali asked him, my dear friend, when I was a young boy, a second-class citizen because I'm Black, a second-class citizen in a country that I was born in, I was thinking, because there's no privilege, most privilege for the blacks, I was thinking how wonderful it would be if I am such and such and such personality. And my friend, I can tell you today that I have achieved that. You see, this furniture in this room here coming from Japan. The furniture in the other room will come from Frankfurt, from Denmark, from this one, different part of the world. I press a button here now, my girlfriend can come from this country, that country, that country. So what I was thinking of having as a child, a dream is a reality. But my friend, let me tell you, I am not as happy as you are. What is your secret? Good smile. He gave me a very big smile, and he raised his portfolio. He said, the whole of my property in life, it contains in this portfolio. Huh? Everything I own in my life is within this my box. That is, in other words, Gurudev is telling him, it's a big mistake for us to try to think that happiness is inside the bottle if you want to drink wine. Happiness is inside the smoke, the cigarette smoke. Happiness inside the food. Happiness inside the material facilities. Happiness within fame. Happiness is not inside these things. It is not this thing that give one satisfaction. Happiness is different. Happiness is from God. Only if you have God, then you can have what you're looking for. So Muhammad Ali expressed himself. So Gurudev brought the portfolio out, and he went to the mechanic shop. There's a bench. So I quickly ran there and spread the cloth on that. And then he sat there and he used his portfolio as his table on his lap. He was writing. He was writing. One way to improve our effectiveness as a leader is to become as fully absorbed in the transitional periods between activities and during the activities themselves. He is expert in this, in everything that he wrote. So we have seen his life in the book he has written. And when we are going to television for television program, he knows that nothing is going to be on time. So he's prepared. He is prepared for the guidance he's going to give to the leaders in the car traveling with him. He's prepared. He'll be speaking in the car, or he'll be speaking at the station while we are waiting for the program. So he's not, why you have wasted my time? I suppose I'll be doing this by this time. He told me 8 o'clock, now it is 10 o'clock. He is never like that. He has prepared himself perfectly for every emergency. And he told me personally, as a leader, as we are planning, any project we are planning to do, plan positively, also plan negatively. Don't plan only positively. Don't be positive only. If you're only positive, you will not make it. Plan the failure. You should be ready for a failure, for disappointment. You should be ready. In other words, to be practical, if you are going to go on a journey which will take you 2 hours, you should leave earlier than 2 hours. You should leave 30 minutes before or 1 hour before. Because in that way, you have time to arrest any emergency and you get there by time. This is Gurudev, always ready for anything. You cannot come over, Gurudev, I'm going to go and ask Gurudev a question that you're going to take in 2 days to answer. He will give you the answer right there. Immediately. He's prepared at any time. Anytime you bring any topic, any subject, any situation, he will deal with you right there. Right there. Okay, go and give me 2 days. I'm going to think about it. No, you finish what you write right there. And you go to him with a very heavy situation, you think, the world is going to end now. And you go to him. In 2 minutes, he will turn the situation for you. And then I should wonder, where is he getting this intelligence from? It amazed me with his intelligence. For years, until I was able to understand his secrets. Devotees who have his intelligence will be a speculator. So someone to have his intelligence and become a devotee, to be a devotee, is very, very rare. It's very rare. Very rare. His Holiness, Srila Kavichana Maharaja, he told me, in this Krishna movement, there are 2 people, Gurudev and one other, his god-brother, the most intelligent personalities in this movement. And you know, that his second, his god-brother is speculating. But he is Bhakti Tirtha. That's the person we have. The next slide is slide 8, near-death experience. Near-death experience. Imagine that your doctor has just informed you that you have a serious case of cancer or AIDS, and that you are going to die in 3 months. If this were your fate, how will you live each of your last days? Differently? Of course, differently. This reflection helps remind us that we can never be certain how much longer we will remain in this material body. Therefore, we must not procrastinate or have a weak list of priorities. Important things, essential things must be done now. Must be done now. We are going to look at situation differently. Remember some years ago when there was Jehovah Witness, the Jehovah Witness, they brought some philosophy that the world was going to end at one time. What were people doing? Yes, it was Jehovah Witness. What were people doing? All the money, people who were not eating before, they started eating to spend their money before the death comes. And so sinful activities increased. It is very, very rare to find people who will use that time positively. Some people are going to leave their body before the time because of fear of death. Majority of people are going to fear. So even devotees are leaving the body in anger. When the devotees are about leaving the body, they are living in anger, they're living in frustration, they're living in lamentation, they are living in worries, worrying about what we are leaving behind. Not worrying about our Krishna consciousness, but about what we are leaving behind. My wife, my husband, my children, my investment, my house, property, my car I just bought now. Which of you are going to use this car? This car I just bought yesterday. Which of you are going to use it? My fame, my prestige, my bank balance. Yes. Status quo. We'll be worrying about these things. Why? Because we have not lived our life as an authentic Krishna conscious leader. And this is the interest of Gurudev. So how did he live his own life as a perfect leader, as a perfect example? He wrote a book about die before dying. It's wonderful. When I visited His Holiness Guna Grahi Maharaj, before he left, he was one of his best friends. Now what he was reading every day. Guna Grahi Maharaj, he was reading this every day. When sometimes I would have, when we close from our teaching service in the Navan Institute of Higher Education, we branch it to have Kirtan also, because we were having Kirtan every day, which he also learned from Gurudev. Gurudev taught her how to leave the body. His Holiness Radha Maharaj was speaking yesterday extensively. He said, Gurudev said, I live my life in style, and I will also die in style. And he died in style. When people go to Vrindavan, go to Mayapur, go to Haridwar, these Rishikesh, or these places to go and leave the body. So I will leave my body in Kitanagri. I want to create a holy place also. A few years ago, I heard from one of his godbrothers telling me, I'm not going to leave my body in Vrindavan or Mayapur. I'm going to leave my body also like Yagurudev did. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami. I'm going to do like him. I'm going to leave my body in my own place. I'm not going to leave my body in Vrindavan, in another place. So he has set a standard. The people are following. What the standard has he set? Famous people, we know famous people, they set a demonic standard because people are following. But an authentic leader, His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, has set a standard which is a holistic standard that every person can follow and become successful in our Krishna consciousness. When he was leaving the body, uninvited, two devotees from Vyasa, from the birthplace of Srimati Radharani, and also from one of the temples of Srimati Radharani, a temple dedicated to Srimati Radharani in Vyasa. They came to America and they came to Gitanagiri to see Gurudev. That is a special sign. If you're having any program, any festival, that a cow just walking on their own, this is suspicious. Uninvited guests just come in is considered Narayan. So Lord Narayan has come. Uninvited guests appearing means Lord Narayan has come. They came on their own. How did they know somebody is leaving the body? They should go and visit the person before he leaves. Narayan. And not only that, when we look at the history, what do we see? How did Bhishmadev left his body? In the presence of Krishna, and all the sages all over the world, they came together to beat him further. Gurudev established this principle. How did Haridas Thakur leave the body? He left the body in the presence of Bhakti Tirtha Mahaprabhu, along with all the innumerable disciples, the pure devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They were with him. What were they doing? Kirtan. A perfect way to leave the body, Gurudev showed us, and all of them, they taught us. Leaving the body in the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly, or leave the body in the middle of Kirtan performed by devotees. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj gave this, he showed this example. And many of his brothers are following that. Guna Grahi Maharaj followed that. Many other devotees, they followed that. He set the standards. A divine standard, a perfect example for everyone to follow. His life is exemplary. Look at the level of his compassion. Just see how compassionate he is. He told me directly, on the telephone, most of you are locked up in karma. I want to pay the price by unlocking so many souls. So our Krishna consciousness can be successful. And some devotees were wondering, what has been the proof since then? What can we show? What can we show that, yes, it has actually unlocked some of us, because we still have a lot of difficulties, so many challenges. So what is the proof? Did Krishna tell Arjuna, I'm the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I want to show you my special mercy. You sit down and watch me, see how I'm going to kill all these people. Krishna told Arjuna like that in Bhagavad Gita, any verse like that in Gita. So what is Krishna's mercy for Arjuna? What is Krishna's mercy on Arjuna? Arjuna was fighting every day. Krishna didn't fight, but Arjuna was fighting every day. So where is Krishna's mercy here? What is Krishna's mercy? He was fighting every day. Seriously, even his own son, not only his son, his sons were killed. So where is the Christian mercy that I have come, that is here to show Arjuna that, yeah, I have killed all these people. Now I just want to give you glory. If you have killed them, then what am I going to fight again for? So what is Christian mercy? If Krishna did not do that, will Arjuna succeed in killing the people he killed? No. So some of us are having serious challenges and difficulties in Krishna consciousness. But do you know why you have not given the Krishna consciousness? Can you trace the reason? Is it because of your strength? It's because he has intervened in our cases. That we can remain as a devotee with all the challenges. You can say, well, I've been praying. Yes, many people have been praying, and many people believe that their prayer is not working. And they're leaving the movement. But why you never left? Because he has paid the price. Therefore, he is holding us in the movement. He's holding us. Because of his shelter, we are still moving on. With all the challenges, we are still moving on. So he's alive. He's alive. He's behind everyone, helping us in many ways to continue to push on with all the challenges. So we should be grateful to say that, yes, thank you, Krishna, that I have a helper who has encouraged me, my Krishna consciousness, in the form of His Holiness, Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaja. How many people are reading his books around the world? You can count. Many seminars have been conducted. In Pune, so first of all, 2004. So a devotee from Chopati Temple conducted a seminar on leadership. Very powerful. His Grace Shamanand Prabhu. So when we went to attend, fortunately I was in Chopati that year, so I attended the program. So at the end, I came to thank him, Prabhu, thank you, such a wonderful presentation. He said, you know, it is your Guru's book. That is your Guru's book. He did not from my head, it's a Guru's book. Then he showed me the book. He showed me the book. See, everything is from this book. The same thing in Pune. When I sent Yaduna Prabhu to go and be trained. So also the same thing happened to him. When he got all the training, and then he was appreciating and thanking the devotee. The same thing happened to him. The devotee told him, see, everything is from the Guru's book. See. What is happening? Teaching us wonderful ways how to become a devotee. from my experience in reading his books, anyone who actually follow the teachings Gurudev has given in his book, there is a guarantee that you'll be a very, very good devotee, because he has groomed us how to become a devotee. He molded our intelligence, our activity towards how to be a perfect devotee. He gave us a powerful approach towards Krishna consciousness. The facility, he provided all the technology, he has given everything for any devotee to become successful in Krishna consciousness. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaja ki. I hope I don't take too much of your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, Shri Gurudev. We're very, very grateful to you, Shri Guru Maharaj, for the wonderful and deep explanation of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj and what it actually means, not just only to us, but also to the whole world, as a whole, and also to ISKCON family as a whole. So thank you very, very much, Shri Gurudev. We are grateful to you. Koti koti dandawat. And now, Guru Maharaj, we are going to go forward with offering. So there are devotees and disciples and well-wishers that will be reading their offerings to His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. So I'm going to start with His Grace Rasika Sindhu Prabhu. Rasika Sindhu Prabhu, are you here?
Hare Krishna.
Great. Yeah.
Okay. So, Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bodhare. Shri Bhakti Tirtha Swami Tinami Namaste Krishna Padaya Bhavana Shikora Shri Bhakti Tirtha Tinamine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bodhare Shri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinami Namaste Devi Gauravani Prachavne Vishesha Shunyavadi Prasthya Deshatavne. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. So on this most auspicious day of Srila Gurudev's Vyasa Puja, I was thinking, what can I share as an offering to Srila Gurudev? So I was reflecting from early morning today how Srila Gurudev is a living example of a pure devotee. Sri Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj is one person who lived in this world, but who was never of this world. Since his birth, since his last days, it was like amazing. As a few days back, one devotee was saying from Africa, it's amazing how he lived and how he taught us to live our life. He was always finding, Srila Gurudev was always finding ways and means to reach those who are unreachable. While devotees were, going for people around, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj always he aimed for the elites, like the intellectual class, the famous people like Gurudev, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj just said, Ali and so many people. He wrote books. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, he wrote like 18 books. And those 18 books covered all the different aspects that people would like to know about, from the intellectuals, from the spiritualists, from the materialists. You have the beggars, for those who like introspection, spiritual warriors for the devotees who want to go forward, leadership for those who want to be someone tomorrow, and reflection for those who want to have to reflect on things and on our sacred books. So all those makes like 18 books, and we have then we have also 2 books which speak of Africa. One speaks of Africa, Gurudev's in Africa, and then also Black Lotus. These 20 books are like 20 time bombs, which are transforming people's life. I still know so many people, even nowadays, people still call and ask, do you have Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj's books? So I also, while I was listening to Maharaj, I remembered how he would, even during cyclones, he was here for the cyclone. Like, we had a class 3 cyclone condition Mauritius, and he was alone with a devotee, locked up, just like we are locked up today. He was locked up in one of the old rooms in Ram temple, and he was writing. He never wasted any time. Always wanting to share out of love. Gurudev would always give his time. That's one of the like qualities that really attracted a lot of people, including me. He would always give time. He would always respond to anyone, everyone, wherever, from the lower class or high class of people. He would always give time and quality time. So today on his Vyasa Puja, I was realizing, trying to reflect on that we need to give quality time. And while going through some old notes and things that I kept as a souvenir of Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, I came onto this a checklist. So I would like to share. It's a small, like not even an A4 paper, like small piece of a paper. But if I truly believe, if we just master one part of it, we can really transform our life and those people who are around us, or under our shelter. So I would share the 12 qualities of a spiritual warrior, which has been described by Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. So the 12 qualities of a spiritual warrior are: the first one, Guru Maharaj said, sense control and mastery of the mind. An uncontrolled mind will be one's greatest enemy and a slave to the senses. Regulating the senses and focusing the intellect stops the mind's sabotaging effects and make it a great friend and a door to the soul. Number 2, humility. Recognizing God as the controller and being dependent on him, never overreacting to fame, success, or position, and while dealing with many, not overlooking the one. Number 3, fearlessness. Confidence comes from continuously validating conclusions through a free-fall check and balance system of spiritual mentors, saints, and holy scriptures. Number 4, truthfulness, always ready to speak truth in a way that will elevate whoever hears it. Number 5, compassion and pridelessness, one who is determined and finds joy in doing whatever is necessary to genuinely benefit others, ready to go the extra mile to assist. Number 6, material exhaustion and disinterest in material rewards, having disgust with mundane culture and achievements. Number 7, no idle time, always extremely accountable to God and to those one serves. I'll take it again. Number 7, no idle time, always extremely accountable to God and to those one serves, knowing time belongs to him and not oneself. Number 8, patience and selflessness, desperate to attain the goals which depend while depending on the Lord's mercy. Number 9, firm faith. This comes from nature consciousness and purified perceptions. Number 10, perseverance. One is not destroyed by difficult challenges or setbacks, but regroups and becomes an even more determined and better warrior. The greater the challenge, the more expert is the performance. Number 11, curiosity and enthusiasm to learn and grow. Equipoised in happiness and distress, never become complacent from past success or present conflicts. One eagerly learns and grows from both. And number 12, surrender to divine will. Offering fully one's body, mind, and words in God's service. All previous 11 tools. I'll check it again. Offering fully one's body, mind, and words in God's service. All previous 11 tools now help one to fully surrender to the Godhead in connection with divine power. So I'll admit that I lag behind in all of them, and reading them inspires me to make an effort to offer that as an offering to Srila Gurudev. I can see, I'm really appreciative for the effort done by all of you. And you are all expansion and representations of Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, because we are connected in the line and we are connected together. So I would pray, I would request, I'll beg Srila Gurudev to please give us his mercy so that we can preach in the same line he's doing, and also be a representative of Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. As an offering also, I would inform all of you, for the pleasure of the devotees. Many people have been requesting for books. So after attending the Vyasa Puja offering 2 days back from the African group, I was inspired, and yesterday, with the help of a few devotees, we confirmed the order of eight sets of all the books. So we have 8 sets who are going to be posted on 1st of April. It's going to be posted for Mauritius. So we have some nice devotees who yesterday they came forward. They'll be helping for the Mauritian Yatra to be submerged with Gurudev's books. I hope this will please Srila Gurudev, and will be able to help devotees, help myself to do some service for Srila Gurudev. And this will be my offering for this Vyasa Puja. Before I will end, today also announces the birthday of my son. So I will fast request everyone to please bless my son. Today it's his very first anniversary. Please bless my son so that he may be able to serve you all and serve Srila Gurudev in this mission, and be a servant of Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj of Vyasa Puja Mahamausav and all Vaishnavas, they are ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for the wonderful offering. We're very, very grateful to you. And a happy birthday to your wonderful son. And
Hare Krishna.
Swami Maharaja, his costless blessings on him. He will be beauty, and your family be blessed. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
So we're going to move on right now to Grace Visharupa Prabhu. Are you there?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev. Please kindly accept our humble obeisances. Jai, Hare Krishna. And Hare Krishna to all the devotees present here. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shri Ati Bhakti Dhiranam Damodara Namini Yatish Bhakti Tirthasya Gunabhavanu Vartine Sarvada Sarvabhaktanam Sarvaraksha Shri Hare Krishna Gauranga Gaisa Savada Prabhu Nityananda Kripamurti Pranamam Puna Puna Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Tirtha Swami Namini Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Shri Tatmane Shri Gaura Daya Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Iti Namine Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pichani Nivasishvari Pashyata Desatarini. Hare Krishna. So this is an offering from myself and Nitya Kishore Radha Dividasi. So dear Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, dear grandfather, please kindly accept our sincere obeisances. We wish you a very happy Vyasa Puja celebrations. Thank you very much for your divine presence in our lives. Thank you for sending Srila Gurudev in our lives. Although you're not physically present on this planet, but you're always interacting with us through many ways, especially through Srila Gurudev. There are many persons who have inspired us to establish deep connections with you, such as Srila Gurudev, His Grace Van Bihari Prabhu, Her Grace Ananda Rasa Mataji. This has been possible because these Zantas have deep connections with you. We are very grateful to them. Thank you for your love, tolerance, and forgiveness. Whenever we look at your pictures, it brings joy to our hearts. Please give us strength to pursue our spiritual lives properly. Please help us to distribute Srila Prabhupada books nicely. Please help us to be mindful in our dealings with everyone around us. Thank you very much for everything. Thank you for helping us to see challenges as Krishna's mercy. Your servant Avesh Rup Das, Nitya Kishore Das, Devi Das, Yanika Krishna Das. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you very, very much, Avesh Rupa Prabhu and Nitya Kishore Mataji. And thank you all very, very much. We're very grateful to each and every one of you. So we're going to be calling His Grace Vaman Dev Prabhu. Vaman Dev Prabhu, are you here? Are you visible? Please unmute yourself. And please unmute your video also so that you can please read your offering.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Hare Krishna all the devotees. Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. I offer my humble obeisances to His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Damodara Maharaj. I offer my humble obeisances to His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami. And I offer my best regards for his appearance day, happy Vyasa Puja celebration for His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami. So I am very happy today. I just heard His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, a very heart-piercing presentation he's offering. I very much inspired. So I was requested to speak a few words on this occasion is by Maharaja Madhuri Radha. So I can say that I have seen practically all the books of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami. So while reading all the books, I came across a forward in this book, Spiritual Warrior, number 2, Transferring Lust into Love, where there is a forward written by one who is a writer. I was very much impressed by it. It is most of my offerings, which is I see in this forward of this book. So I would like to read it. So I request all the devotees to listen very carefully. So it is very, very nice to come across this, what is presented in this book. The forward in the book, The Spiritual Warrior, number 2, Transforming Lust into Love. If happens is somebody not able to just grasp what I be speaking, reading, just try to go through it, the forward of a Spiritual Warrior, Transforming Lust into Love, which was given by this author, Terry Cole Whitaker, author of What You Seek of Me Is None of My Business, How to Have More in a Have-Not World, the inner path from where you are to where you want to be, and love and power in a world without limits.
So I was very much impressed by this forward. I tried to read it, and I requesting other devotees to read, to listen very carefully. Transforming Lust into Love is a book to savor and treasure, a book that needs to be read and reread because of its spiritual potency and priceless value for everyday living. I received so many books in the mail to read, and I am sorry to say the vast majority of them have little or no substance, simply being combinations of words strung together to entertain the mind and perhaps the intelligence. You can imagine how happy and excited I was as I began to read The Spiritual Warrior 2. And I found myself saying, yes, yes, this is what I need. This is what I chose to learn and apply. It is with great pleasure that I offer my reactions to Bhakti Tirtha Swami's unique, easy to understand presentation of the ancient eternal teachings included in this book. Although I have never met Bhakti Tirtha Swami personally, an occasion I look forward to, in a sense. I have already met him through his previous books and an audio tape of one of his lectures. His courage to speak the deepest truths and his wealth of knowledge has impressed me greatly. As a writer, minister, and speaker myself, I am familiar with the tendency to say what pleases people so that they will continue to listen and attend classes. Bhakti Tirtha Swami cuts right to the core of our problems and offers real, eternal solutions that transcend the mundane belief and rhetoric of the average religious leader or politician. The book's combination of primarily, but not exclusively, Christian, Muslim, and Vedic teachings is for serious students who genuinely desire to know who they are, how to live in harmony with God's laws, and how to love God and achieve success as a human being. The lessons the author shares so generously are the difficult ones, that how to catch a man, how to keep a woman, or even how to use God and his universe to get what you want. All these benefits come naturally when you love, not when you use, but when you love. Those of any religion who care about themselves and truly desire to fulfill their mission as human beings will devour the knowledge that jumps off every page of a Spiritual Warrior 2. Some books give us an aha or two or one interesting point to apply, which may be enough to justify the price of the book and the time spent reading it. Here it happens every paragraph and sometimes every line. I am currently on my second and even third reading of certain chapters of this divinely inspired offering. Everyone needs a copy of this book. Couples and families need to read it together, comment on its lessons, and discuss in which they have applied these powerful truths to their communications and interactions. Schools need to include this book in their psychology classes, for it goes beyond the mundane psychology of analyzing illness and aims directly at the heart and core of every issue, which is love of God. Without God, no system will ever bring a utopia, because we cannot live a heavenly life by keeping the power and proprietor, God, on the outside while we are in the inside living of his kingdom. With God in the center, all is possible, and life is blissful, loving, and prosperous. At some time in our lives, each of us must wake up and feel the challenge of being who we truly are, and of bringing forth and expressing this true self from moment to moment. The only way we can solve the problems of life, which we ultimately can do, is to have eternal knowledge and truth, and to apply this knowledge under any and all circumstances. Whatever we have in life is what we have earned. If you desire love, bliss, and liberation, I suggest you start here with this book. God bless you. Bhakti Tirtha Swami. And thank you, my friend, for your enormous gift to us all. The Vyasa is Teri called Viteka because of so many books I just mentioned before. So I'm very happy today. I came across His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami some years ago. Even I am not able to meet him personally, but I have come to listen to his lecture personally. And I used to listen to his lectures very often and read his books. So I am very happy that I came across His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami, who helped me a lot in my life in difficult times and has taught me how to tackle the problems of life, which he has always done for so many devotees. I thank you very much, Maharaj, for your Vyasa Puja. I offer my sincere offerings for a very happy Vyasa Puja to you, Your Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami. All glories to Bhakti Tirtha Swami, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you very much, His Grace Bhamande Prabhu. We're very, very grateful for the wonderful offering. Thank you for the heartfelt appreciation of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. So we are proceeding forward. We're going to be calling on Her Grace Manasi Ganga Mataji. Manasi Ganga Mataji, are you there? Please unmute yourself and please unlock your video and you can start reading your offering. If you're here. Manasi Ganga Mataji, is she here?
We can see her, she's not unmuted.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yes, we can hear
Hare
you.
Krishna, yes, we can hear you. Thank you. Dear Damodara Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances at the dust of your lotus feet. On this occasion, I'm begging for the blessings, for your blessings, and the blessings of all the devotees present here, so as to be able to say a few words in glorification of Srila Gurudev, His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami, for my own purification, though I'm definitely not qualified. Actually, I have known Maharaj since the year 1998. And well, we met with Maharaj at the Rath Yatra festival in Lenasia in the year 1999. And actually, Maharaj was meeting with many people and we were waiting for our turn. And Maharaj immediately, attracted my heart with his charismatic nature. With his folded hands, he was going to each and every one with his sweet smile also, addressing each and every one in the mood of a real servant, as if addressing our inner nature. like immediately creating a turmoil inside, like a tug of war, compelling us to follow him as the most humble, most compassionate personality. I would also say completely in the mood of Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur. Actually, throughout his entire life, Maharaj, with folded hands, begged his way back home, back to Godhead. Through deep meditative prayers, Srila Gurudev begged for the mercy of his beloved Lord Shyamasundar and his beloved spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. Through his talks and interactions, Srila Gurudev begged people not for their wealth, but begged them to take up to Krishna consciousness. And in a loving and caring way, he helped them to become internally strong devotees. And as His Holiness, dear Damodara Maharaj, was mentioning, that at the last moment of his life, Srila Gurudev boldly taught us through words and action how to die before dying, which is actually the purpose of human life. And unfortunately, which we are constantly postponing, thinking that it's not our turn yet. I'll quote some of Maharaja's saying on die before dying. Gurudev described death as a chance which is most essential to remain. He also described death designed to remove everything that is transitory, secondary. And he also said that death, near-death experiences, or witnessing the death of closed ones to be opportunities to look at all secondary things face to face and see whether we made them our priorities or whether we used to move through them or to rise above. Gurudev also addressed die before dying as dying dearly, which means that we have to die in terms of giving up anarthas, moving away from unwanted habits, unwanted culture, and to accept that which is eternal. And he also said that every time we die to some bad habits, deviations, illusions, or different kinds of confusions within ourselves, then we are really becoming alive. Actually, above all, Gurudev also mentioned that it is only with extreme mercy that one can rise above it. So today, on this auspicious occasion, I'm humbly begging for the mercy of Srila Gurudev to be able to die before dying. It's only through your mercy, Srila Gurudev, that I'll be able to do it, because I have no qualifications for that. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you very, very
Hare
much.
Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Manasi Ganga Mataji, for the wonderful offering. That is very, very instructive. Thank you very, very much. So we're going to move forward. We'll be calling on His Grace Prema Vilas Prabhu to please unmute himself and unmute his video also so that he can read his offering. His Grace Prema Vilas Prabhu, are you there?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my obeisances.
Hare Krishna. Happy to see you.
Happy to see you also, Maharaj. Hare Krishna, my greetings to all the devotees present. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharini Nirvisesha Srimadi Pastati Dishtari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Gaur Bhakti Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Panchakalpatarubhyascha Sindhubhya Vicha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, thank you very much to all the devotees for giving us an opportunity to speak about His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj on the very auspicious occasion of his Vyasa Puja. Actually, while I was listening since the start of this program, then I remembered that the way I came across His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, I was not like had not come into Krishna consciousness yet. I was still a student in a secondary school, and one day my father brought one of Maharaj's book from the municipal library. He had a membership there, and he used to bring different kind of books. And one day he brought one of these of Maharaj's book, and I read it. And at that time, of course, we didn't know about Maharaj. We didn't understand much of what was in the book. We didn't understand much about Krishna consciousness. But even then, Maharaj had made an entry in our lives, I believe. So I would like to appreciate a few of the qualities of Maharaj. Of course, we are not so much qualified to speak, but still we will try to appreciate. One of the things that comes out about Maharaj is that Maharaj is a very, very, very intelligent person. Even materially speaking, he was the leader of students, not just a normal student, but the leader among students in one of the prestigious universities in the US. And then when we see how he is explaining Krishna conscious topics, even though he explains in a very simple way, but he goes very deep and in a very intelligent way. And Maharaj has everyone appreciate his intelligence. We were listening to one lecture by His Holiness Satyanandan Swami, and he was telling of one incident where all the devotees were present so many devotees were present at the Baltic Summer Festival in East Europe, and there were around 8,000 Hare Krishna devotees gathered for the festival, and there were so many senior devotees, so many sannyasis, so many disciples of Srila Prabhupada. But then the government authorities wanted to know something about what is happening. I mean, they were a bit worried. Why have 8,000 Hare Krishnas gathered there? Is there some kind of revolution going on? So they were a bit worried. So when it was time to send someone to speak to these government officials, everyone decided that His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami should go. And he went, and like it was his habit, he explained everything so nicely that in the end, all these government officials were very eager to know more about Krishna consciousness. So Maharaj is a very intelligent person, and his intelligence is unsurpassed in the way he was also preaching to high government officials, president, prime ministers, for instance, Nelson Mandela, and so many places all around the world. And in that intensity and in that big way, I think that there are a few only. He has not been equaled yet by any other devotee. So this was one of the things that was that I wanted to appreciate about him. And second thing is that Maharaj is a very expert book distributor, which appeals a lot to me because it inspires me how he was going everywhere and he was distributing these sets of books to in places that where people will it will be unthinkable that people would take. He distributed books everywhere, even in communist countries, in a very expert way. And this is a big inspiration for me. And then in our attempt to become to strengthen our Krishna consciousness, we have to take the help of strong devotees. And we see that on a daily basis we get the inspiration and the help coming from Maharaj, especially through reading his books and listening to his lectures. His lectures are extremely powerful, and just listening to a few excerpts of his lecture or listening to the whole lecture, it gives us lots of enthusiasm, inspiration, and strength to carry out our own Krishna consciousness. And I will recommend all devotees that are present to go and check the lectures by His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, especially his lectures given in Mayapur, protecting Srila Prabhupada's house. One lecture is Die Before Dying, where he in a very unorthodox way, he explains about how we can remove all the obstacles in our life, which are just like temporary, and we have to be connected to the eternal. And Maharaj has so many nice lectures, and the way he speaks about his own sickness, the cancer, and he thanks Krishna, Lord Krishna, for the tough love that Krishna is loving him in a tough way by sending him this cancer, and he thanks the cancer, and he is grateful. And then there's one very short excerpt from one of his lectures where Maharaj speaks, and this, like, if we listen to it on a daily basis, this helps us a lot. It is called the ultimate prayer, where Maharaj he is giving a lecture, and during the lecture he asks everyone that let us pray that everything that are favorable for us to become better servants, to become more advanced in Krishna consciousness, whatever it may be, let it happen. This is like a 2-minute video, but it is very, very powerful, where Maharaj speaks about the ultimate prayer, how to pray to become for everything that will help us to become more advanced, more Krishna conscious. Let it happen very quickly. And listening to these prayers, these explanations, these lectures from Maharaj is very, very helpful at least for me, and very inspiring. So it is good for everyone to read his books, to listen to these lectures, so that we can know about the spirit of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, and to become more connected to him, so that we all also we can like follow in his footsteps. So just to end, I would like to read one very powerful quote from Maharaj. He says, "When your desire to serve is beyond your capacity, yet you act without hesitation, that is a moment empowerment occurs." So I will say it again. When your desire to serve is beyond your capacity, yet you act without hesitation, that is the moment empowerment occurs. So we would like to thank His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj for everything. And on this very auspicious occasion of his appearance day, we beg for his blessings, so that we can also follow, at least in some percentage, behind him. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj ki jai. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj Vyasa Puja Maha Mahotsava ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
We're very, very grateful. Thank you for the wonderful, inspiring speech. We're very, very grateful. So we're going to move on forward now. We're going to call His Grace Vaikuntamurti Prabhu. Vaikuntamurti Prabhu, please unmute yourself. And okay, very good. Please, you can go ahead and read your offering now.
Hare Krishna. Om Gyanat Mirandasya Gyananjana Shlakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Tirtha Swami Tinamini. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamini. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarini. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. I would like to start by offering my humble obeisances to the lotus feet of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj and to all the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
And to Sripad Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj Vyasa Puja ki. I'm remembering the very brief moment of association that I had with Maharaj when I was a student at the University of Cape Town. I was very fortunate because I had that association with Maharaj just before he was diagnosed with melanoma, and very shortly afterwards. Maharaj left, but physically left. He is always here. And as the Shastra said, one moment's association with a pure devotee is enough to create all good fortune. This was my personal experience. As Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj was just saying, Maharaj was sharing with him in the telephone conversation that he wanted to take all the karma of the devotees that was making them stagnate, so that they could advance in Krishna consciousness. And Maharaj was asking the question, well, where's the proof? I am the proof. I am one of.
Thank you. Thank you.
My Krishna consciousness started after Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. After he took the karma of all his devotees, I was one. So I've never forgotten that. I remember it was towards the end of, I think, 2004 or 2003. I can't remember exactly the date, but Maharaj came to South Africa, and then he visited Cape Town for an interfaith gathering. So the devotees invited me to also come to attend. That was the first time I had direct association with Maharaj. And at that time, His Grace Dhruva Maharaj Prabhu was there. He was, if I remember, he was temple president around that time. So Dhruva Maharaj Prabhu and his wife, Parijata Mataji, they were actually very, if I'm not mistaken, they had very good jobs as engineers, if I'm not mistaken. So, but they gave that up to serve. They wanted to dedicate themselves. And Dhruva Maharaj Prabhu had a vehicle that could fit many people in. It was like a 7-seater or more. So when we went to this interfaith conference, Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj was sitting in the front. All the devotees were also sitting, and I was sitting completely at the back. And this interfaith conference was very eye-opening for me, because I just saw how, of course, the other faith leaders were present there, but nobody was in ecstasy. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj was in ecstasy from beginning till end. How he spoke, it completely mesmerized the entire the entire assembly. And there were many things that he said that I cannot remember in full detail, but the one thing that he said that really really stayed with me. Actually, it was a time when there was a lot of conflict in the Middle East. So that was the topic. It was the reason also for having this interfaith gathering. So there was a pastor of the Anglican Church there. There was a rabbi, and there were some other leaders of movements that are not really bona fide. They're like sort of concocted movements of concocted philosophies. So so Maharaj spoke first. He was the main speaker, and the others also, they contributed, they shared something. But one of the things that Maharaj said that really struck me was, he said, all of us are following different saintly representatives of the Supreme Person. We're following Muhammad, we're following Jesus Christ, we're following Buddha. But he asked them a question. He said, if all these leaders of these different traditions, if they were to be present here today, how do you think they would be interacting with each other? If Jesus and Muhammad were in this room and Lord Buddha was in this room and like that, do you think they would be fighting, they would be quarreling, or do you think they would be having very loving dealings with each other? So he asked them that question, and he said, then why not that we as followers of all these traditions cannot have these loving dealings with us, with each other? So that's something that really, really struck me. And after that, we were going back to the temple. And I remember that South Africa is a place that even today is crime-ridden. Crime is a big problem there. And when you stay in specific places in South Africa, after a while, you start to understand which are the safer areas and which are the dangerous areas. So the place where I was staying was was relatively safer. There's a railway track that separates to the two parts of Cape Town. It's considered like on the university side, it's more of a safer area. Where you stand on the other side of the railway tracks, it's very dangerous, especially after dark. It becomes very dangerous to walk there alone. People get mugged and so on, if not worse. So we were going back to the temple, and I was thinking the devotees will drop me at the temple. It was already dark, and I would just walk back to my apartment. And, throughout the entire time that I was there, I had not spoken to Maharaj, had not said anything. He hadn't said anything to me. I was just there very silently attending the meeting and observing everything. But he was conscious of everything. So he was conscious even of insignificant me, of my presence there. And as we were going back in the vehicle, so he asked Dhruva Maharaj Prabhu, he said, that boy who's sitting at the back, where does he stay? So Dhruva Maharaj Prabhu said, his apartment is on the other side. So Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, he insisted, he said, I want you to go and drop him at his house first, and then you can take all of us back to the temple. And I was even thinking, at least Maharaj could have said, okay, we drop all the devotees. He could also get off, at the temple, and then he could have asked Dhruva Maharaj Prabhu to just drive a little further to drop me. No, but he insisted that they drop me first, and then that everyone else would go back to the temple. And I was very, very touched by this. And I thank Maharaj for this. And I later on, I came to realize that this is the symptom of a very advanced personality in Krishna consciousness, is that they are very conscious. They're very conscious of everything that is around them. And not only conscious, but they know the perfect way to deal with every situation and every single person. Later on, I remember Maharaj's Sunday feast lecture, which was very, very, very deep. I don't remember all the details of what Maharaj said on that day, but I remember how Maharaj could present things also in a very amazing way. He could make his point, he could tell a joke, and then you would really get the point. His kirtan, I was very fortunate. There was one Prabhu at the time from Johannesburg, Tattvavid Prabhu, and myself. So we played mridanga for Maharaj in that kirtan, and he rocked the whole temple. And we were playing those fiberglass mridangas, and normally those are unbreakable mridangas. But on that day, the rubber covering of that, it started to tear, it started to come out. And I went to the supermarket, I bought super glue, I came back and I glued it back on the mridanga. And this has never happened in my life, where the unbreakable mridanga can be broken in a kirtan. But in Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj's kirtan, that happened. I remember that a lot. And I have to say also that Maharaj's promise that he will be there for us even more after he leaves his body. If I remember correctly, he said, I love all of you, and I will find ways to be there even more after I leave this body. This is also 100% true, because this has been my experience, not once, several times, almost on a daily basis, I will say, where I have questions in my mind. I pray, and sure enough, the answer comes through Maharaj. In some of my most difficult times, Maharaj has helped me to see things in the proper perspective to keep me going, at least to keep me going, because one thing that I have to say, that I feel very, especially on Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj's Vyasa Puja day and on his disappearance day, there's one thing that makes me feel very sad about myself. I feel very unhappy with myself, because I I am aware of how much mercy Maharaj has given. And I feel very unhappy that I'm not able to take advantage of the mercy that Maharaj has given, of the instructions that Maharaj has given, because of my lack of sincerity, because of my lack of faith, my lack of determination. And then at the same time, I feel very happy because the devotees, they do not reject me. They keep me in their association. So that is my good fortune. And I remember how one of the things that really stood out for me was how Maharaj, he said what he felt was the essence of the mission that Srila Prabhupada gave him. It seems that Srila Prabhupada, he asks different of his disciples to emphasize different things. And of course, Maharaj, he did so many wonderful things. But Maharaj, he said, I feel that Srila Prabhupada has given me the duty of exposing all the unwanted things that are there in Krishna consciousness, and that to help devotees remove those things. And if you think about how he wrote his books, his commentary on Madhurya Kadambini, Radha Shunya, all of these books, Maharaj, he is exposing everything that we need to remove. And he didn't make Krishna consciousness cheap. He was very clear that if we have to go to the spiritual world, we need to start practicing the culture of the spiritual world right here, even here. And he says, if we go there how we are, we'll go there and we'll create a disturbance. I completely agree with Maharaj. When I look at myself, I look at my own heart. It's completely true. But when you read what Maharaj says, when you hear what Maharaj says, the thing that makes me so sad about myself is how slow I am to take Maharaj's instructions really deeply in my heart, so deeply that I can actually make a change. Because I don't feel like I'm making much advancement. I feel like I'm just barely hanging by a very thin thread. But at the same time, I feel that although Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj's mission was to expose, everything that we need to work on, everything that we need to change within ourselves, at the same time, accompanied by all this is the Guru's wonderful quality of patience. Actually, the Guru's patience is unlimited, because the Guru is dealing with a conditioned soul like myself. And I speak for myself, conditioned soul intelligence is very thick, takes long time, very, very long time for the instruction to go in and to be able to apply. So the Guru has unlimited patience. That's why he comes back lifetime after lifetime. And for me, the embodiment of this quality of unlimited patience that Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj has, if you have to personify the quality of unlimited patience of Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, that person is Bhakti Damodara Maharaj. Because it's not coincidence. That is the name. Dhira. Dhira means patience. So nothing is coincidence. Nothing is an accident in Krishna consciousness. So this analogy is there of, in this purification process of the sadhaka, it's like a potter who's working with a pot, a clay pot. So first he molds the pot. He gives the pot the shape that it needs. Then he has to heat it in fire to solidify the clay. And he has to hit also with a tool to test the solidity of that pot. But the potter, he's not just hitting the pot, because if he just hits with one hand, he'll break it, he'll smash it, because it's very fragile, it's clay. So the potter is always working with two hands. One hand is hitting, the other hand is inside the pot, supporting the surface, the inner surface of the clay pot. So I feel this is how, when you have an empowered servant of the Guru, that empowered servant, he becomes like a team. It acts like teamwork. The Guru and the pure devotee servant, the pure disciple, perfect disciple, they become a team. They work together to fulfill the mission of the Guru. So on one hand, the Guru can say, okay, I give you this task. I have my task, you have this task. It's like in a football team, someone is defending, someone is scoring. So the Guru says, I'm going to score, I'm going to attack. So I have to give like the heavy instruction. But your task is you need to be inside the pot, you need to support, so that when you support, then the disciple will not break, the devotee will not break. So I can smash, but you support, and then like this, you keep the disciple in Krishna consciousness. And I feel that this is how I see the teamwork that is being performed very wonderfully, beautifully between Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj and Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj is saying what we need to hear without sparing any effort, and being very direct and saying exactly what we need. And Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj is supporting us so that we don't break, and that we do not lose hope, that we do not lose determination. So thank you very much to all the devotees, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Very, very deep and insightful message you've given. Very deep and insightful offering. Very, very profound. With every statement all through to the end is very, very profound and very, very insightful. Thank you very, very much, Vaikunthamurti Prabhu. And actually, like you said, we are all nothing but a manifestation of the mercy of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. You know, not only you, but all of us, we are all manifestation of that mercy. So Guru Maharaj, we are also the proof. All of us are the proof of the mercy. Thank you very much, Lord Gurudev, and thank you very much, His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. So we're going to be calling His Grace Sundarachar Prabhu to please come forward and read his offering. Sundarachar Prabhu, are you here?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I am audible.
Yes, you're audible. But okay, here you are.
Please accept my obeisances and thank you for giving us the opportunity. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Swami. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami. So, Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Damodara Maharaj. So it's a
Thank you.
Big Vyasa Puja Day for His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami. So today we organized a mini Vyasa Puja. We did some 18 preparation with the Guru Puja, and you can see the pictures here. So Maharaj, we know him for his wonderful kirtan, dancing, and I personally have the opportunity of dancing together with Maharaj. There's such a wonderful personality, dancing, and it's when he sings kirtan, so it's just you cannot stand, you cannot sit, you have to just start dancing. So that's the experience I have in Mauritius, and with his disciple
of Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, have the opportunity to serve him personally, serve his disciples. We organize Maharaj so many seminars. So that's I have to say about the and Maharaj about austerities, and many more have, but I don't know how to speak. So many things that I have in my mind. My wife will say something more about the Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Hare Krishna Maharaj. I would like to thank His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami for always giving us the opportunity to serve devotees. I personally, I don't know big philosophy. I have tried to read his books many times. To be frank, I don't understand much. But when you give classes, when you give some classes, I managed to understand. I have listened to his lectures, and his lectures are very, very powerful. But one thing that I have experienced is Maharaj is very mystical. He always reciprocates. So it happened a few times. I have been having some difficulties. And when I go and ask him, and I have seen the solution coming. And for every little thing that I have seen how he reciprocates. So this I have experienced. He's very mystical. And for me, I haven't seen him before. And for me, he always exists because he always exists whenever I have to tell him something, I will tell him, and I see how he reciprocates. And I don't know how I have got different opportunities. We have got to celebrate his Vyasa Puja here, to celebrate Disappearance Day. And I would like to thank all the devotees who has given us the opportunities. Despite we know we don't have so much qualification, but still, it's my Guru Day instruction to serve devotees, and all the devotees have been helping me. And I thank all of you. And I thank His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami to be always present here in our life, always guiding us. And I pray that we can follow his instruction. We can do what he wanted to do, because few classes that I have listened from him, I've seen that he has put lots of emphasis on community building and devotee care, and which is in line with my Gurudev instruction also. And so I pray that one day I can fulfill his desire by doing all these services. I pray that I always serve devotees, I always care for devotees, and I always thank him for giving me and my Prabhu, His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, in our life, who has helped us a lot. And I'm eternally grateful to him for this. So thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sundaracha Prabhu and Sakavrinda Mataji. We're very, very grateful to you. So now we're going to be going forward. We'll be calling on His Grace Vana Bihari Prabhu. And we'll be calling on His Grace Vana Bihari Prabhu so that we can proceed with the offering. But just a humble reminder to each and everybody that is going to be reading their offering. Please, due to time constraint, we're trying to see how to cramp in so many people to be able to read. So please just read, 2 minutes, 1 minute, like that, please. Humble appeal to everybody, please. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Shri Dev, Hare Krishna, all devotees. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Yati Bhakti Dhiranam Damodara Namini Yati Shri Bhakti Tirtha Gunabhavanu Vartine Sarvada Sarva Raksha Bhaktanam Sarva Raksha Pradamini Shri Radhe Krishna Guranga Gaisi Sarvada Prabhu Nityananda Kripa Murte Panamami Puna Puna Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Tirtha Swami Niti Namine Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Shitatmane Shri Gaura Karun Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Iti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prashayini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadi Shatayini Vanchakarpata Rupyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Hare Krishna, Shri Gurudev, Hare Krishna, all devotees. Please kindly accept our most humble obeisances and to your divine lotus feet. So actually, my offering today, I'm not that qualified. Me and Parvati, we are not qualified. We are very fallen, very degraded, and we don't have any good qualities. So to glorify such a great personality of Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami, who is our spiritual grandfather. So I'm just offering our offering to our beloved Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, so that he can offer it to Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. So, dear Srila Gurudev, please kindly accept our most humble obeisances unto your divine lotus feet. Today is a wonderful appearance day, Vyasa Puja celebration of our spiritual grandfather, Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami. I'm very degraded again, don't have any proper words to glorify such a great personality. So we feel very embarrassed, very ashamed, but still, for our purification, we try to glorify Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. So when my dear Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, my dear spiritual grandfather, when I joined Krishna consciousness in 2005, that year I started reading Srila Prabhupada's books when I started. So day and night I was reading his books. And then later, in the same year, I came across to your books. And when I started reading your books, I actually wanted to meet you. I actually wanted to be initiated by you. But later on, I heard that the same year, 2005, that you just left your body. You just left the material world. So I felt very devastated. I felt very down. So now, what should I do in life? Because I was reading your books, I was hearing your lectures. So in my first year of taking Krishna consciousness, so I wanted to meet you, but I couldn't. But then I continued reading your books. I continued, then the book Black Lotus came. I started reading about you more intensely. So then, by your special mercy, I came to meet my spiritual master, His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami. The first time I seen him in Krishna Baram temple. I seen him in Jagannath Ratayatra. So I felt this is His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami. Same person, non-different. All his styles is just like Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. So I again became very hopeful. And then I prayed that one day I can come to meet you. So eventually, by the devotee's mercy, I came to have some service unto you. And I spoke to you about how I read about Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj and how I wanted to get initiated by him. But by the time I wanted to meet him, unfortunately, he already left this material world. But then, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj came back again as my beloved Srila Gurudev. So it was the first time, saying that I told you, even though you were not initiating. So I said, I want to initiate with you because you, for me, you're Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, you're non-different. So then what happened is each time I communicated, each time I communicate with Gurudev, my spiritual master, His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami, and it happened on several times. At each time I'm focused on my spiritual master, when I sleep, I dream of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami. And then other days, when I focus on Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj videos on his books, when I take rest, I dream of my Srila Gurudev. So there's something happening. Each time I speak with my Gurudev, I dream of Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. And when I read and I see videos of Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, I dream of my Gurudev. So it's confirmed that Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj is back. For me, it's a hope in life. So, and when I read the last letter Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj wrote, he said, I love you all very much. And he said, he's going to show us his love, even though when he leaves this body. And for me, I can see this is a fact. Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj did not just write it. Actually, he is doing it through his books, through my Guru Maharaj, through His Holiness Bhakti Vasudev Maharaj, through His Holiness Bhakti Chaudeshna Maharaj, through all other disciples, grand disciples, through all other devotees as well. So this is how I became very hopeful in Krishna consciousness. And then when I read the book Black Lotus, I see how Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, he is very, very caring. And my spiritual master also have the same characteristic. So then in Spiritual Warrior 1, my dear beloved spiritual grandfather, Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, explained how we can train ourselves in the waking state, so that in the dreaming state, we can dream of spiritual personalities. We can dream of our spiritual master. We can dream of Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. We can dream of Krishna. So when I read that, it was very hard. So really, can we really have, and like in a dream of some personalities? So in that book, my dear spiritual grandfather, you taught me how I need to be very mindful, very prayerful before going to rest. And while practicing what you say, mysteries unfold in the dreams, where we come across to meet you, we come across to meet devotees which we never met. And so many wonderful mysteries unfolds. So, oh my dear spiritual grandfather, I pray to become very enthusiastic. I pray to become empowered to read your books, to go deep into that, and to practice instruction of my beloved spiritual master. If you give me a drop of your special mercy, if you give me and Parvati a drop of your special mercy, we can try to please our beloved Srila Gurudev. So, oh my dear spiritual grandfather, every day you write to Srila Prabhupada. Every day you write. You don't miss to write to Srila Prabhupada. And in the same way, our beloved Srila Gurudev, His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, he writes to you every day. very prayerful, very sweet prayers. He writes to you. But see how unfortunate I am. I'm so degraded that I don't know the potency. I don't know the power behind writing you every day. Just like Shri Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj writes to Prabhupada, my Gurudev writes to Bhakti Tirtha Swami, but I am a great failure. So hence today, on the great occasion of your Vyasa Puja, me and Parvati, we pray, we beg, we cry, so that we can learn from you, we can be empowered by you, so that we can write to our spiritual master daily and please him by this service. Oh, my dear beloved spiritual grandfather, you said several times, many devotees spoke, how
Hare Krishna, everybody. I think Vanabiari Prabhu's network is a bit down, but I believe he will be coming up very soon. So please bear with us. And, let's see how it goes. His net, okay, he's back.
where you were put in the prison, you take challenges, you took risks. My spiritual master as well took a lot of risks following your footsteps. But when I face with challenges, I can't. I become very down. I become very demotivated because I'm crooked, because I'm faithless, because I don't trust you. I don't trust my spiritual master. I don't trust my mother, the Shastras. I don't trust the devotees. I have a big disease, my dear spiritual grandfather. Please, I beg you, please hear my prayers. Please hear my cry. Please, if you become merciful to us, only then we can please our spiritual master. Without your mercy, it's impossible. So please help us, just like you please Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada, he caressed your head and said, your life is successful. So, oh dear spiritual grandfather, when will that day be mine? When one day, maybe after so many lifetimes, me and Parvati can come and serve our spiritual master and please him, just like you pleased Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada told you that your life has become successful, while Srila Prabhupada tears were coming from his eyes. So when will he be mine?
Sorry to interrupt you, just because of time constraints. So
yes. Okay, Prabhu. Yeah. So, my dear spiritual grandfather, when you came to Mauritius on one occasion, you were deported from the country. They took your luggage and threw it down in the floor and told you to get out from this country, from Mauritius. So when I heard that, it broke my heart so much. But still, you practically live, as you say, demonstration of love in action. You did not go against Mauritius. You did not give up to come back to Mauritius. After that, you came back to Mauritius. You took the risk. So if today we have Krishna consciousness in Mauritius, it's because of you, my dear spiritual grandfather. So please teach me, please Guide me so that whatever challenges come onto our heads, we can face it just like you did. Never rebuke, never challenge anyone, and always stay humble and depend on Krishna. My dear, beloved spiritual grandfather, in Jagannath Puri, when you went there, it was a very wonderful pastime where you took the risk to meet Lord Jagannath. Your determination, your eagerness. You were a foreigner, you were a Westerner, you were not allowed to enter Jagannath Puri. But still, because of your intense desire, determination, eagerness to see Lord Jagannath, you went there. And then you were being pushed until you come in front of Lord Jagannath. And by Lord Jagannath's mercy, seeing your effort, you went close to him and hugged him so tightly. So please, dear spiritual grandfather, please guide me, teach us, bless us so that we can embrace devotional service in Krishna consciousness like you, so that we can become a better puppet, a better instrument in the hand of our Shri Gurudev, to please the Vaishnavas, to take care of the devotees. Even when you left the body, you said, you left your body in the mood of Vasudev Datta. You prayed that you take the sin of everyone so that we become better in practicing our Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, very difficult. So we pray to become selfless, dear spiritual grandfather, to kill that selfishness in our heart, which is a demon, which makes me think I'm big. I have big false ego. So please, my dear spiritual grandfather, on this auspicious day of your Vyasa Puja, please smash this false ego, the demon in my heart. And yes, just like, yes, spiritual grandfather, just like when you dance and run towards Srila Prabhupada, you run towards Srila Prabhupada, you make everyone run, because in the mood that we accelerate our devotional service to Srila Prabhupada. So in the same way, we pray for your special mercy so that we can accelerate our service, our attitude, our consciousness towards serving our beloved Shri Gurudev and the Vaishnavas. So we thank you very much, dear spiritual grandfather, for hearing our prayers, which is very long for a very fallen, degraded soul like me. So please bless us, Parvati and me, so that we can become good recipient of your mercy, and so that we can please our spiritual master, His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami, and so that we can become caring to everyone in our life, and so that we can also serve and please the Vaishnavas. Thank you very much, dear spiritual grandfather. Thank you very much, dear Shri Gurudev, for taking these prayers of us, offering of us, and to please pray for us with Shri Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. Shri Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj Vyasa Puja ki jai. Shri Gurudev ki jai.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. And we're very, very grateful for the wonderful prayers to His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. We're going to call on Naimisharaya Mataji. Naimisharaya Mataji, we have constraint of time, so we humbly beg, plead to every devotee, because, it wouldn't be nice that you got disconnected all of a sudden, so because you are giving your offering. So just a humble appeal, just make your offering. Yeah, it is from the heart, but just make it not that much, just a little. God bless you. Thank you.
So I will try. Hare Krishna, dearest Gurudev. Hare Krishna, dearest devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances of your Prabhupada, of your Bhakti Tirtha Swami. Namo Vishpadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shri Bhakti Tirtha Swami Shri Bhakti Tirtha Gunanu Sarvada Sarvaktanam Sarvaksha Pradayani Shri Radhe Krishna Guranga Shri Sarvada Prabhunitananda Kripamate Pranamami Punah Punah Namo Vishpadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shri Bhakti Tirtha Swami Namine Namaste Krishna Vada Prabhupada Shri Tatmani Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Swami Namine Namo Vishpadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Vishesha Shunyavadi Prashatadi Shatarini. Hare Krishna, dearest Gurudev, on the auspicious day of the Vyasa Puja.
Hare Krishna.
Radhe Radhe Gurudev. So I try to write a small offering, which I will read, reflecting on my connection with Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami, for having never getting the chance to see you even once in this lifetime. Then how come you're always staying in my heart? I can only remember the nice association of your disciple, and I'm so blessed to have come into the association and was introduced to get to know about you. Since then, after hearing and reading about you, there was a deeper connection which I can't explain, but all I know in my time of trial, I could find only you by my side. And all I had to do is to either listen to one of your lectures or read your book, and I shall be finding all the solution to my problem. It is magical how, despite not being physically with us, you are still impacting the life of many around. I remember in one of your lectures, you mentioned that you always be here for everyone, for devotees, for well-wishers, and for your disciple, even more than when you were physically present. And it is amazing how you're still living with us through your instruction, through your teaching, which is our heart and soul. Dearest Guru Maharaj, you stated that after knowing what happened to you, many devotees and disciples around the world are taking the Krishna consciousness more seriously. And you boldly mentioned to the disciple, please do not make me a liar. So dear Gurudev, we are trying to follow on your footsteps and to represent our ISKCON society, and where our spiritual master can offer us to you, and you can offer us to Srila Prabhupada without any shame, basically to offer every beautiful roses without many thorns. We would like to thank you for leaving your wonderful son, Srila Gurudev, who is your representative, who has given us shelter. You are living with us in his form, and he's constantly guiding and enlightening others like you did. He's also sharing your teaching and keeping us connected even deeper in our sadhana and practices. Dear Guru Maharaj, we pray to live a dedicated life to their Lordship like you always did. We aspire to live a life of gratitude like you always did. We pray to always impact the life of others like you always did. We pray to always be crying for mercy like you have been doing. We aspire to be mindful in our thoughts, word, and action so that not to harm any other people. We aspire to forgive others, and we beg to be forgiven for all the offenses that we are committing, like you did with all humility. Lastly, I deeply beg to surrender myself to the Lord and engraving your prayers in my heart, which is, my dear Lord, allow me to experience or obtain whatever I need to become a better servant of yours, and please remove or take away whatever is needed for me to become a better lover of God. Thus, renewing my vow and trying my very, very, very best to become a good follower of yours, your granddaughter, Naimi Sharanya Devi Dasi. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami ki Jai. His Holiness Srila Bhakti Damodara Swami ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you so much for your attention.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Naimi Sharanya Mataji. We're very grateful to you. Now, without further ado, we are going to call on His Grace, Advaita Krishna Prabhu. Advaita Krishna Prabhu, please, are you here, sir?
Oh God. Hare Krishna. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Panchakalpatarubhyasya kripasindhubhyajyoti Guru Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha. You can hear me? Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Damodara Maharaj, please accept Mahaprabhu obeisances.
Hare Krishna, oh glory. Hare Krishna, Lord.
So today is a wonderful day because it is a day that one of the truly wonderful sons of Srila Prabhupada appeared. And it is only by, like Sanaka Rishi makes us prayer, it is by the will of providence that we met the goodness, his goodness, and that we've embarked on this captain of our boat. Fortunately for our Krishna conscious movements, we have so many wonderful captains of different boats that it is all heading by the mercy and the wind of the instructions of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. I had a very great fortune to meet His His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, and also having the wonderful opportunity to attempt to serve him a little bit. And in the mid-90s, I was going to Mayapur, and I saw that he was very close to Mount Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, and they were staying in the same apartment on the Conch building. So each time we were going there, I was meeting Maharaj. And very soon, I realized that, he was actually very famous in our movement because, he had this incredible charisma and his incredible personality, and his glories were known throughout the ISKCON universe. So when I met him, it was double joy for me, and I became very, enamored by his wonderful association. But most importantly, it is said that the joy of the self is very beautiful, the soul is very beautiful, and actually you become attached to the soul. And I could see that this person actually was not just an ordinary human being like any one of us. He had actually this incredible beauty of the Atma, the beauty of the soul, the beauty of his devotion to his Guru Maharaj, the beauty of his devotional service was shining throughout his body. And he was contagious. He was incredibly contagious, and he was so powerful, and his power just coming from his love. That's what I felt. Every time he would write to you, he would write with love. And that was not just a put on. That was not just something superficial. That was something so deep. And he had no envy. He had no jealousy. He was a broad-minded, incredibly powerful, and he had no barriers. And his practice of Krishna consciousness was so powerful that it was tangible for anyone who was close to him. I feel you could actually, the Krishna consciousness he had experienced was so tangible. Like it is said that example is higher than precept. It is very much like Narad Muni tells about his own experience of development of Krishna consciousness. So we can actually read it and he said, wow, it's so great. But Gurudev, he was like the embodiment of Krishna Bhakti, the embodiment of love, the embodiment of care, the embodiment of, what we can achieve if we just followed him. So he was an incredible personality. So I thought, okay, I'll invite him. So I invited him to Mauritius. He came a couple of times. And then, he kept coming. And then even when he had challenges, and he actually was very, very transcendental. And that transcendental quality that he had, is what we are glorifying today. He was from this world, yes, in a way. He lived in this world, but he was from some other world. He was like the lotus which blossomed in the pond, but was never touched by the mud. And he gave us a wonderful example. And I don't know how to glorify him. Really, I don't know how to glorify him. But having known him was such a beautiful part of my life. And he was instrumental when I reached the dark night of my soul. And he was there. And I can also say Japataka Maharaj was there, and my own Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, they were all there. And if some of the devotees know, they were actually a wonderful trio. These three devotees, they were like very together, isn't it, Maharaj? They were very much together. And when you go to Mayapur, you would see the happiness of the association of these three persons, and they were good friends. They were very good friends. And I experienced that also, that deep association, that deep friendship they had So we're so grateful that he came to Mauritius, and I had the opportunity to serve him in a close way. Of course, I don't think I've ever been able to give him any significant service at all. But now that also he's present in his instructions, in his precept, in his example, in every way, he's there, wonderful. And he said that will be more available to us. And I feel it too. When I'm slightly a bit more Krishna conscious, I can feel his presence. And as usual, when the modes of nature, dominates, then, then he comes in other ways and to remind us of his joy and his happiness of Krishna consciousness. So it's a wonderful day. It's a happy day. And we can experience the joy of Krishna consciousness by his association and by the association of his followers, especially my regards and my love to his Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Damodara Maharaj. Thank you very much. Thank you all. And I thank Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj for the love and care.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Happy to always see you.
I'm happily engaged, and I had to leave my course to come and see you and all the devotees here. So it's a wonderful time. Hare Krishna. Only we're missing Prasadam together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Krishna.
Thank you.
We're very, very grateful to you for making time. Thank you. So we have 2 more offerings.
It's okay.
So this if you're present, you can unmute yourself and start your.
Hare Krishna, dear Shri Gurudev. Please accept my humble obeisances. Hare Krishna, all the devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Are you hearing me? Are
Yes.
you hearing me? Hare
Yes.
Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Yati Bhakti Dhira Namo Vritti Namine Yati Shri Bhakti Tirtha Guna Bhavanuvartini Sarvara Sarvara Bhaktanam Sarva Raksha Pradayini Shri Radhe Krishna Gauranga Gaisi Sarvada Prabhu Nityananda Kripamurti Pranamami Punah Punaham Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimad Bhakti Tirtha Swami Iti Namine Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Shitatmani Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Bhakti Iti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desa Tarine. Dear Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. I wish you a very happy Vyasa Puja celebration. You are such an exalted personality that a fallen soul condition like me cannot glorify you enough. It is a matter of great misfortune that I took so much time to know your value. Fortunately, your son, Srila Bhakti Tirtha Damodara Swami Maharaj, came in my life to make me realize this. I remember the very first contact with you was when years back your disciple came to Shri Krishna Balaram to celebrate your disappearance day in the evening. I remember it was a Sunday and the celebration was completely simple, where disciple and the well-wishers were glorifying you and narrating your first time occurred during your visit, last visit in Mauritius. Rasika Sindhu Prabhu then made us watch a short video clip on the disappearance of Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj with the bhajan Jai Anilo Prema Dhana playing in the background. I was so touched with both the video and the bhajan. Once back at home, I looked for the video on YouTube, and since that day, I also started singing the bhajan regularly. Days passed and I forgot about you. But that one day I met my spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Tirtha Damodara Swami Maharaj. And then I came to know that you are his spiritual master. In this way, the spiritual connection with you was again revived. I started reading your books. Reading your books is as good as associating with you, although I have never met you in person. You have such a magnanimous heart that you always respond when I pray to you. Once I dreamed of you and His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Both of you were hanging on a rope outside a multi-story building while translating books. This shows that you're still here with us and you're making a lot of sacrifices for us. So thank you, Maharaj. Personalities like you are even more merciful on their Vyasa Puja. Therefore, I beg for your mercy so that I can get the taste for the holy name, so that my material desires go down and I can remain focused in my Krishna consciousness in any situation. Your insignificant servant Nevervinda Dasi. Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Gurudev.
Yeah, but thank you very, very much. So right now we're going to call on His Grace Jayananda Prabhu. Jayananda Prabhu, please, are you there?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Please accept my humble obeisances as a dust of your lotus feet. All glory to Bhakti Tirtha Swami. All glory to Prabhupada. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shri Yati Bhakti Dhira Nam Damodara Namini Yati Sri Bhakti Tirtha Guna Bhavan Sarvada Sarvaraksha Pradayini Shri Radhe Krishna Gauranga Gaisi Sarvada Prabhu Nityananda Kipamurte Pranamami Punaha Punaha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Tirtha Swami Namni Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Satatmani Sri Gaura Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Namni Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namni Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pastyatadi Satani. Dear spiritual grandfather, Bhakti Tirtha Swami, please accept my humble obeisances at the dust of your lotus feet. All glories to your Vyasa Puja celebration today. All glories to your divine son, my spiritual master, Bhakti Tirtha Swami. All glories to Prabhupada. My dear spiritual grandfather, please empower me so that I can speak a few words about you, so that I can please my spiritual master and at the same time please you and for my own purification. So when we go through your life, the activities that you have rendered in the ISKCON movement, and looking at your qualities, we can easily say that you are not a person from this world. And in the spiritual warrior, there is a description about the pyramid. You gave a description which is totally opposite from the correct opinion that pyramid was built by the king Pharaoh. But in your explanation, you mentioned that the pyramid was built so that the priests at that time they can chant the name of the Lord, and then it get amplified, and then going through the summit of the pyramid, it goes to the heaven planet. So but this explanation was quite amazing. So then I asked my spiritual master, how can it be that it's like that? Then your spiritual son, my spiritual master, he gave his answer that he has seen it. So I was shocked by that statement, and at the same time I was relieved, because I was thinking maybe he's not from this world. Then I confirmed with my spiritual master, so it means that he is not from this world. Then my spiritual master confirmed, yes, it is not from this, he's not from this planet. And we can see how mystical my divine, my spiritual grandfather is. Yesterday I was listening to Radhanath Swami's intervention in the Sangha that was being held on the glorification of Bhakti Tirtha Swami. Then Radhanath Swami, he was mentioning that he was not willing to write the book going back home, his journey back home. He was reluctant to write it, but Bhakti Tirtha Swami, he was insisting that he should write, but still he was reluctant. And then at one time, you told him that you should promise me that you're going to write this book. Then Radha Swami told that he promised, but he was internally not like promising. Then you detected his inner feeling. Then at that time you hold his hand and then you ask him to promise again that you're going to write it. Then Radha Swami said, okay, I will write it. And after that, you said that I promise you that this book will rock in the world. It will become a very famous book. And now we see that in the Amazon, this has become a bestseller. So we can see how you can travel in the past, you can travel in the future, and only a mystical person who is not from this world can do this kind of amazing things. So at the same time, through my spiritual master and through your books, I have come across certain terms which are again amazing, and I have never heard them before. Like you have founded the Institute of Applied Spiritual Technology, and in line with that, there are many technologies that you have given so that we can improve on our devotional service. And some of the technologies that has impacted on me, like prayerful reading. This is a term which first time when I read that, heard about it, I was thinking, how can reading be prayerful? And then my beloved spiritual master explains that through this prayerful reading, one can associate with all the personalities who are present in the purport, in the book, and they can communicate with you, they can give answers, they can, like you're talking to a person. And at one time I had that experience, and ever since I have lost that contact. Maybe today my prayer will be that you can bless me again so that I can be reconnected in this prayerful reading. And then another term which is a bit surprising, first, which striking, like mindful sleep. We know that in sleep we forget everything, but here we come across a term which is mindful in sleep. Again, this was like a statement which was coming from not from this planet. And then Maharaj, my spiritual master, explains that if you are Krishna conscious during the whole day, this will carry on in your sleep, and then you can dream about the Lord. You have a spiritual sleep, dream. And then another thing is writing letter to the deities. This was again something striking, to write letter to the deity. And then we are thinking, how can we write letter to the deity? So this served, through this little exercise, you demonstrated that we can be worshipping the deity, but internally we still have the impersonal conception. We don't have full faith that this is a person. So by writing a letter to the deities, and we can relate as a person to the deity, we can develop a personal relationship with the deity. And then another technology that I learned is like every day before going to sleep, then we have to report to our spiritual master about the activities we have done during the day. And you were doing that, my spiritual grandfather, you are doing this to Prabhupada. And then you are finally asking, is there anything more that you wanted me to do? So these were things that you presented in our movement, which has revolutionized the Bhakti cult. And we know there is a time constraint. I have more to speak, but respecting Prabhu Sukadev Goswami's instruction, so I have to cut short now. But on this most auspicious day of your appearance day, I pray that you'll bless my spiritual master, Sri Bhakti Damodara Maharaj. You'll empower him so that the new project that he was advertised yesterday, the Surabhi Farm project in Nigeria, my Guru Maharaj can complete that project in this lifetime. And we can get the opportunity to participate in this project. And finally, I beg for your mercy so that I can become a good devotee and a good disciple of my spiritual master. Hare Krishna. Bhakti Tirtha Swami, Hare Krishna, Bhakti Damodara Maharaj, Hare Krishna, Sister Prabhupada, Hare Krishna to all the devotees, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for your offering of prayers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you very much, Jayananda Prabhu. We're very, very grateful for your wonderful offering. So we are about to round up now to, conclude everything for today. We're very grateful to everyone that was present. We're very, very grateful to everyone that was present. We're very, very grateful. First of all, we tender a humble apology to everyone that we are not able to call due to time constraint. We also render apology to everyone that we may have rushed, to read their offering. It's all due to time constraint. I humbly appeal to each and every one of you. Please do not take offense. Please forgive me and please forgive us. We're just trying to see how to manage everything so that everything goes smoothly, and also to be able to give maximum time to everyone to read their offering. Just on a finishing note, there is a written prayer that is written there. It said, "Beloved Grandfather, Param Gurudev, thank you very much for making yourself available to receive the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Thank you very much for your tireless sacrifice. Thank you for all the pains, headache, and mistreatment you endured and accepted just to plant this tree of love of God in a desert, because you believed and held tightly to the feet of one who embodies Lord Nityananda's grace. Beloved Grandfather, Param Gurudev, you see, the desert has lost what makes it thick and has become a beautiful garden of heavily laden trees with roots deep into the ground, and that is tapping from an endless ocean of love of God and service to God. Their branches spread wide into every direction, and they are so gigantic and marvelous. I am just a tiny offshoot of that tree, but I pray that I might be able to produce fruit and flowers worthy of being offered to your gardener, my spiritual master, who in turn offers them to you." Thank you very much, His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. We're very, very grateful. So,
thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Gurudev. Thank you very much. So on this note, we are going to end with a pranam mantra of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. So, Shri Gurudev, please, you lead us on the pranam mantra, please.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Desaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Tirtha Swami Namne Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Shri Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Namine.
His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj ki
Jai.
Jai. Ya Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj ki
Jai.
Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Go to Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. So thank you. Bless you. Hare Krishna. And please, any last comment? Any last?
Okay.